for this outstanding accomplishment. Miss Anna Walker, a senior last year, competed in 2 different CTSO, the Career Technical Student Organization, national competitions. Just to make it out of the state into the national competition is a huge accomplishment in itself. And this very determined young lady went in 2 different areas, or 2 different CTSOs, and competing in 2 different events. One in the teach and train event, and then the other one was early childhood education. So we've met this young lady. I know y'all know who she is, and we know what her aspirations are. We're very proud of her. So if I could just get her to come up with the 2 advisors who accompanied her, Mr. Tommy Tatum and Miss Joan Rutledge. Tommy Tatum is the Skills USA advisor, and they went to Louisville, Kentucky over the summer to compete, and Miss Joan Rutledge is the FCCLA advisor, and they went to Washington, D.C. on the 4th of July to compete. So if y'all want to come forward here. We've got a couple of certificates I want to give to Anna and present to her, and I think Dr. Perry wants to present something as well. But as I was saying, with her competing at the national level, we had a few students this year that got to compete, but to have one that goes to 2 different national competitions, this is just extraordinary, and just shows her devotion and her allegiance to what she wants to do with her career, and I'm sure she will be very successful at it. So y'all will join me in giving her a round of applause.
We have for you the Superintendent's Award medallion. Just came off. It's okay. But if you haven't seen a recent edition of the Progress, you were recognized at the state level by Superintendent Woods. What a wonderful thing, and what a wonderful thing for Pickens County. So congratulations. I'm glad that the Progress did capture this in a local newspaper. We are so proud of you. Yeah. And I know Pickens High School is extremely proud, and so is the school district. Thank you so much. And I do have for you the Superintendent's Award with your name engraved on the back. And I give this for accomplishments that exceed normal expectations. You know, high awards, high achievements. So congratulations on behalf of the school district. The Superintendent's Award it is presented to Anna Walker, PHS, a high school student back in 2015.
Yeah.
I think they are. Maybe we could get a group picture with you in the middle, and
y'all have a better.
It's hard to as well.
Sorry.
I know, because I know you had an impact on us.
Y'all all get in the middle.
I was a chauffeur.
You were a chauffeur? Okay. Hey, that was an important thing.
Well, I'm sure you did it well.
Yeah, that was an important thing.
Okay.
Anna, if we could get you just to say a few words. First of all, I cannot wait until you finish all of that university training and all the wonderful things that you're going to learn about educating young children. You're an early childhood major?
Early childhood and special education.
And special ed. All right. So you are going to tell us you're coming back to Pickens County.
I plan on it at the moment, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're going to?
I'm going to the University of North Georgia, and then I plan on taking a year off after college and going on a mission trip. And preferably the world race. I haven't figured that out yet, and then coming back to Pickens to teach, hopefully kindergarten.
Well, I look forward to recommending her for employment in Pickens County schools as a teacher, so I'm looking forward to that. And we wish you many, many wonderful days of college, and I can only imagine the learning that's going to take place, and just sponge it all in, soak it all in, so that when you get back, we can do the very best for our children here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you made a little trouble.
If I could add just a couple of other comments. The advisors that work with these students put a lot of time in, and we're very grateful for their impact on this as well. And they also, of course, travel with them. And I've been to a national convention before with a student, and it's not necessarily a vacation. So when you're responsible for somebody else's child, you know, it's always there's some stress involved. But thank you to these two and all of our advisors for what they do, and thank y'all for supporting our programs.
We're proud of the accomplishments of all of our children. I mean, we have outstanding students in Pickens County schools, and I think I'd put them up against anywhere. So, you know, we want to exceed any school that's anywhere in Georgia and beyond that nationally. We are really working hard to give the best education possible and for our children to exceed at the highest levels. And that potential is here, and it is certainly possible. So thank you, and Anna's going to help us do that.
Thank you.
All right, and next on the agenda is public participation. In case you weren't aware of it, there is a board policy that you're more than welcome to spend all 5 of your minutes, and we look forward to hearing you.
Hello, my name is Susan Perry Timms. I'm the mother of a PHS senior, Doug Timms, and I have 3 concerns or complaints that I'd like to now bring to your attention. The first is going to be false imprisonment. On January 12, 2015, my son, Doug Timms, along with 2 other boys, were told to stay after a basketball meeting. They were then escorted to a private room where they were, at one at a time, interrogated by head coach Brad Steinhauer about a group text. However, this is a direct violation of the Georgia Professional Standards Commission, not to mention a civil crime, to conduct this sort of witch hunt, detaining a student by use of invalid authority without a parent's consent, and intimidating a minor by use of authority. Doug then received 3 punishments for this. The first came January 10th, when Coach Brad Steinhauer made a public disciplinary action at the Fannin game. The second was January 12th, before the basketball practice. The whole team was reprimanded by Coach Rasco and Principal Lemieux about the same subject. And then a third punishment on January 12th, when 3 players, including my son, was either suspended or kicked off the team permanently. In light of this action, Doug's father and I have repeatedly asked for the reasoning behind this detaining and punishment of our son. We've been given 3 conflicting reasons, 3 conflicting answers. The answer for the first one was January the 10th, a terroristic threat, as told by Principal Chris Lemieux directly to Doug's dad. However, in an administrative report on July 22nd, Lemieux states the SRO could find anything terroristic, and likewise the PHS school administration couldn't find any evidence to discipline any student for a behavioral violation, yet my son was disciplined. Answer number 2 was given June 24th, a failure to report, as stated by Principal Lemieux in his email to Dr. Perry. And yet there were 9 boys who didn't report, yet 3 was only disciplined. The third answer came July 22nd, misleading school administration and Coach Steinhauer, as stated by Principal Lemieux in his corrected version of the investigation. And this is where I absolutely draw the line with all this went on here. This statement in itself is absolute libel, and it begs a conspiracy to conceal wrongful acts investigation, which brings me to my second complaint, character assassination of a student. When Principal Lemieux printed in an open document for all of Pickens County to see false statements about my son, which are widely understood to be harmful to his reputation, and by way he could be treated differently now by his teachers and peers, that is absolute defamatory. I have tolerated Lemieux being insulting and unprofessional, but to allege in an open document that my son is someone who lies to authority, that's criminal. That's detrimental to his character. So let me set the record straight for everyone. My son, Doug Timms, did in fact deny any wrongdoing in a group text when he was asked, because he did nothing wrong, even as was proven by the SRO and Principal Lemieux himself, as previously stated. Then when asked if he had participated in this group text, my son revealed the fact that he had responded to a teammate's invitation to an altercation, all which can be proven by a copy of the group message that I do actually have. This word manipulation and spinning it to appear as if Doug eventually told the truth is an outright lie on the principal's part, and I will not rest until Doug's name is publicly cleared of all these character-maiming allegations by the Pickens County school system. And for my final complaint, it's slander and fraudulent misrepresentation. On June the 12th, 2015, Doug and his dad met with Coach Steinhauer at the coach's request to discuss reinstating Doug in PHS basketball, at which time the coach told Doug that if he would give him 100% effort in the PHS summer camps, he could earn his position back. At this very camp, while my son is playing his hardest, trying to prove that he is indeed beneficial to this sport, Coach Steinhauer is conducting another private meeting. At this time, and this time with a student, a fellow teammate of Doug's. Coach Steinhauer told this student that Doug could not be a leader in this 2015 season because he was a quitter, referring to earlier in the year when Doug had felt so bullied, intimidated, and harassed due to these unanswered punishments that yes, he quit the team, as others have done, to this very same unethical and I dare say unlawful treatment of these players. Coach Steinhauer also said that Doug had tapped his potential. How do you think that made my son feel and his self-esteem to hear his coach, who had promised to give him a fair opportunity to earn his position back while he's playing as hard as he can, hear someone talking about him to another teammate in such a derogatory manner? My son has played basketball for 13 years, since he was 4 years old. I assure you, he is not a quitter. He loves the sport. He loves the team. He loves Pickens High School. Does Pickens High School love my son? I sure hope that you see the validity of my concerns.
Thank you, Ms. Jones.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is our superintendent reports, financial update with Ms. Amy Smith.
Give us just a moment to pull up that report. And I'm sure as you look at this, you're like, this revenue report does not look the same as it usually does. And of course, we have a tentative budget approval at this time. We have not entered the budget because it is not in the final status. It takes quite some time and is a few thousand entries, so if something were to change, we don't like to enter it and then have to undo and redo. It's kind of a balancing nightmare. So this is kind of a skeleton version of it. As you can see, as of the 4th of September, we collected 2.05% of our budgeted revenue. Remember that QBE money that came in July and August, most of it goes back into prior year, because we still pay those paychecks through August for most of our employees, and it has to be backed into the prior year numbers. We've expended 6.22% of our budgeted expenditures. Of course, down on M&O and transportation, just to remind you, those encumbrances you see out there, we do quarterly purchase orders. That means we go ahead and put purchase orders in place that we know will be coming up for the next 3 months. So that number looks a little high, but it keeps us from overspending. Everything's in the right place where it should be. Nothing is out of the ordinary for the moment. And unless y'all have any questions about this report, I'll go on to SPLOST. For the month of August, we received $370,973.13 in SPLOST revenue, earned interest of $722.14. Had quite a few expenditures. Several of them, of course, you can see have to do with Tate Elementary. That project is still ongoing. We had quite a few things going on this summer with technology, and that's where you'll see purchase and installation of AV system at PHS. We had some hot water heaters that had to be replaced at PHS. We have lots of computer purchases and licensing purchases, and that's part of what we had planned to do with SPLOST and our technology plan. When you see various labs, they hit almost every lab, so to name all 7 schools gets a little lengthy. But these are all things that we had discussed during the budget process. Y'all have any questions on this SPLOST report? As of the end of August, we have $3,498,564.51. And the final report here, I'm happy to see that number. We jumped up quite a bit, about 30,000 above where we normally are. Brought our average up just a little bit, but hopefully that number will continue to grow for us. We looked at some projections. Projections for the long term, there's nothing that will significantly change it that we know of at this time, but it does look like, the predictions say we will hold steady. So 340, we have rebounded. We are just now to the level we were in 2009. So our average in 2009 was $341,000 a month. So we're just now back to that level. I'm glad to see it. The economy did not turn around as quickly as people thought it would, but I'll take it. But it is growing now. So, y'all have any questions?
These SPLOST funds are so important for the schools. New buses, technology for our schools, facility needs are all taken care of, are mainly taken care of, not all, but a large portion of them through our SPLOST funds. And, I appreciate the continued support, of our community in helping us meet the needs of our children through these funds. They know that we do, so they take these funds in, that these funds are important and we do use them wisely.
Next on the agenda is our attendance update. Ms. Cantrell, oh, there she is. It looks like you have a visitor with you.
It's an honor to be here tonight to present this what I feel like is very informative information. I appreciate a board that wants to be kept updated as far as dropouts and attendance on. That shows that that we're very in tune and we want our attendance and our dropouts to stay at those low numbers. So I appreciate you allowing us to give this report every month. As far as the dropouts for the first month, we have 7 to report, and you have a breakdown that was given to you in your board packet. Of course, as always, we do work with those students still trying to find them and get them enrolled, either in GED or Mountain Education or somewhere that we can find. So we have a few that we're working on right now that very good possibilities that we're going to get them back in school. The next report will be the attendance report.
Ms. Cantrell, I got one question.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Just so I know for clarification, on our dropout report, it shows that we had 6 in June.
Yes.
But is that from last school year, or is that this school year?
That's will be counted for this school year. That is the students that did not return that are considered our summer dropouts.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yes.
They're the no-shows, right?
Yes.
They're the no-shows.
Why do you use it as June instead of?
They have that. When I say they, as far as in the data information, they have to mark it as a June, so that it reports correctly. Use the June date. It's something to do with the way that we have to report the information to the state.
Okay.
So that's why it's coded as June.
I hate starting off with 6 in June, and I know you do too.
I know.
So I want us to find them.
I know. And we will.
We need them.
We'll continue to.
I know you'll try, and we
do.
appreciate that.
Yeah, I would think the no-shows are harder to find.
So, well, especially when some are around county. That makes it more difficult too. The attendance report, before I ask Martha to open it up, I want to, where'd Kirk go? Come here, Kirk, quit being so shy. Kirk Garner he's always been so gracious to be